Hi everyone, my name is Ed Gansel. I'm the lead singer and one of the guitarists for the band Skinny Rinkus.
And I'm Chris Silvagni, lead guitar player for Harpo and the band Sucker Punch.
We're definitely brothers for life, so we decided to get together and interview local musicians to find out what's going on in their world. Together, we are a Bond-Unbroken. So welcome to SikStrings and LoudPipes. Sit back and enjoy the ride. Alright, you ready to do this?
Yes, I am. Let's get this going. Now. I'm really glad you're doing this. This is cool.
Yeah. I'm dying
Don't talk too much, guys. You gotta talk on camera. Does anybody need anything before we start? We have beer, summer shandy, iced tea, Pepsi, and coffee, juice, whatever.
I'm driving, so I would have said beer, but...
If the coffee's made, I'll have some coffee.
It's a Keurig. I can make it instantly. What do you want in it?
Oh, just black.
Just black?
Yeah.
You got it. Do you want some, Chris?
No, right now I'm
You're
going
gonna
to have
do
some
that.
of that.
Okay. Okie dokie. Ed, Pepsi?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Absolutely.
You're not allowed to have soda.
I'm not.
You're gonna start. You're gonna start. We just had this feud last night, and then she comes in with a 12-pack of Pepsi.
That's funny.
I told her she treats you better than me. Your earliest memories of becoming a musician?
Oh, mine. Well,
Sure.
my mom's family was musical. So my mom and my grandmother and her my mom's two brothers had their own radio show once upon a
Really?
time back in
Wow.
the day. Yeah. And my grandmother played keyboards, and she was an entertainer, and she was really something. And so of course, this was back in the mid 60s when everybody had to have a Lowry organ, and they made me take organ lessons, right?
Really?
Now, I'd just seen the Beatles, right? And the Monkees had just come out, right? And I'm thinking, like, the organ? Hell no, right? I want a guitar. And so they drugged me kicking and screaming to organ lessons, like every Tuesday night downtown at the Lowry store. And
What's up?
pretty much that was the appropriate
What?
music for
It
that.
was, wasn't it? Thanks, Dad.
Go ahead, sorry.
That was the perfect music for
It
this.
was.
So,
I need to turn that off. So go ahead, sorry.
so then my mother decided, oh, thank you so much.
Very welcome.
So then my mother decided that I was going to play in church, okay? Now, one of my favorite stories is, and this is just karma, is that the church they drugged me kicking and screaming to, and my mother made me play organ at, is now K&S Music.
Oh, really?
Yes. So every time I walk in there, I expect lightning bolts to fly out of the
That's
sky.
freaking awesome.
Or something, right? But my organ and playing in church was very short-lived because I had went out and bought like books of like Cream and Beatles and stuff and learned how to play it myself. So the one day that I was supposed to play like 3 songs for the church service, I went over like early in the morning, and they have this big organ, and it's got 1,000 switches and buttons on that I have no idea. So I'm flipping switches and buttons and noodling around on it, and I hit the button for the outside speakers, right? And I'm sitting in here, and I can tell you, I was playing White Room, and I'm like, and I am like rocking out, right, on White Room. It's blasting out at 8 a.m. on the outside church speakers, okay? And the minister lived like right next door, and he comes like running in his bathrobe, going, oh my God, stop. And I'm like, what?
Oh, that is funny.
That is hilarious.
So that was my last and only time at playing in church.
That's funny.
Oh, good story.
So that's like your first live performance?
But yeah, that was my first live performance, yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And nobody came out on the porches to listen.
I
They
don't-
were probably looking around thinking,
Going,
what
what the hell? So then, and I was about 12. Well, the Christmas when I was 12, my parents bought me my first guitar. So, oddly enough, about a month before Christmas is when I met Dave Bloom, Sue Bloom's brother. And we became fast friends because, of course, he could play the guitar really well at that point in time. And so they bought me the guitar, and I brought it over to his house like a day after Christmas. And like the day after that, we went over to Sides and traded it in on a bass. Because I wanted to be a bass player like
what
Peter
kind of a
Tork.
guitar was it?
That's a beat.
A Tisco.
Really?
A Tisco, yeah. And traded it on this like weird ass bass, but like I wanted to be Peter Tork, but then as soon as Dave started teaching me how to play, we were playing Cream and Hendrix and all that kind of stuff, and then like my next like obsession was Jack Bruce. So like forget Peter Tork, Jack Bruce was the guy, and so the first band I was in was with Dave Bloom and this guy named Terry Yetzko from Loyalsock. And Dave Bloom says that we made a record and that we played a couple of gigs, but I have zero memory of any of that.
Really?
I mean, we were supposedly the band that opened when Hebron Plaza opened, that we played at the opening of Hebron Plaza.
Really?
Nothing. I got nothing.
Wow.
You don't remember any of it?
None of that.
Wow.
And Dave says he still has the record we made, which I'd love to hear, because I can't even imagine, because, I mean, when I look back at how well we played, or I played at that time, it was like, it was like pretty sad.
So is your loss of memory psychedelic induced?
No, I never did psychedelics.
That's awesome.
It's
Good,
old
That's
age.
good to know.
Could have something,
It's just old age. Oh, that's funny.
could have something to do with that truckload of vodka you drank.
Oh yeah, I had a,
What?
Truckload of vodka. Don't tell all of his secrets.
No, please tell.
I kept Absolute in business for years,
Oh my.
and the cocaine cartels too. Yeah, there was that. Of course, that was
Who
the
didn't?
that was the 80s.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
Like all I remember about the 80s was something about spandex and big hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
and
have that?
Oh, yeah.
I sure did.
Did you?
Yeah.
I would
He
love
had
to
hair.
see a picture.
He had long hair.
I remember him with
Yeah.
long hair, but the spandex I don't remember. But
I don't know if I have
You
any
got
pictures.
that picture. You got that picture of the AIDS thing you guys did.
Mhm.
You were in spandex there.
Oh, that's right. We did a Rock Against AIDS thing.
You got to get me them pictures. I'll put them right in this
it's a
podcast.
poster that he's got on the wall in the basement in the
Yeah.
studio.
that's funny.
But the first gig I actually have a memory of playing is I met Steve Blaker when I was in junior high, and he had a band called Bo Rat Slade, and I don't remember who the guitar player was.
That's a great name.
I have no idea. And I think it was Tom Ritter, maybe.
I don't know why I know that name too. He's
He
throwing
plays-
names out that I know I've heard them.
Yeah. So I remember playing, with Tom Ritter and Steve Blaker and myself, and we played at the Montoursville Fire Hall, which is now Grace Buffet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember that being my first gig because I was still taking them damn organ lessons at the time, because my organ teacher lived right down the street, and she said, "Oh, I could hear you."
Wow.
Which she probably could.
Yeah.
What did we know? We just turned it up to 17 and blasted.
Right. Full on red.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So that was it. So your first love was guitar, for sure.
Yeah. I was never a big fan of keyboards, I mean, for myself. Once I saw Jack Bruce do what he does, I was like, oh yes, this is it. And then came Stanley Clark, right after that, and of course Billy Sheehan came along in,
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
in the 90s, and
So,
And Yngwie's bass player, Wally Voss, was one of my good friends from Fort Lauderdale.
Really?
And Wally, like, played bass like Yngwie played guitar. He was just absolutely an astounding bass player, you know. And so we actually owned a bass together.
How'd that work?
Well, Wally, while he played with Yngwie, he went to the Ibanez factory and like mixed his own color and made this whole thing. Well, then when he kind of fell on hard times, he sold me this bass so it wouldn't get away from him.
Okay.
So I had it, you know, I kept it for him for a long time, and then he slowly like bought it back,
Okay.
you know, and till he paid me back because he didn't want to lose it. And then after he passed away, it's now hanging at the Hard Rock in Miami.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that is cool.
Yeah. So if you ever go to the Hard Rock in Miami it's in not Miami Beach. It's God, I can't think of what it's called. But if you look above the bar, it's a blue Ibanez 5-string, and it's the only one with a strap hanging on it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
wow. So, you went back and forth with guitar and bass.
Well, I knew how to play the guitar, you know, but like it was not anything I aspired to do for a very long time. And then somewhere in the 70s, and I got, you know, of course, Jeff Forsberg was, you know, around. We all hung out. And so, you know, I started playing guitar more in the 70s. But through the 80s and 90s and into the early 2000s, all I played was bass.
Wow.
You know, through the 90s, I was in Fort Lauderdale, and that was original music. And I played really good bands that had really good originals, and you know, nobody owned a PA or lights because every place had a big stage with lights and PA, and you know, and you just kind of rolled in an amp and
Yeah, in-house stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, wish it was that way here, but
There's
Oh,
places around here that
there's
have
a couple.
in-house, but
yeah.
What brought you back from Florida?
Me.
Oh.
Oh yeah, him.
Oh yeah, him. That's what he
Oh,
said.
him.
Well, the funny part was
We've known each other since the mid-70s.
I was 14 when I met him,
Wow.
delivering newspapers. He worked at the Smith's drugstore on 4th Street.
Huh.
And that's where they would drop my papers off.
Yeah.
And I always seen him with this long ass hair and smoking.
Oh, jeez.
What year did you move to Florida? Do you remember?
79. No. I moved to Massachusetts in 79. I moved to Florida in like 86.
86.
Mhm.
Okay, because I was trying to get my timeline there. I
'Cause
didn't know
I
you
was-
very long.
Because I was here
Yeah.
from 82 to like 86. So I was
Gotcha.
here for a few years. Trying to think. I was here from like 82 to 84. Because that's when Ken and I had the house, or the apartment on Hebron. Where
Yeah.
you guys would
And
come
I
to.
Yeah.
know that because we had Marisha in 86. We met him in 84, and you guys were packing up. As you guys were getting together, you were also packing up because you were actually leaving in just a few days.
Oh,
Right.
Then if he left in 86.
No, 84.
84.
Oh, you left in
yeah.
84.
Because
Oh,
we went to Daytona Beach because my parents had retired down there, and we
Yeah.
had gone down and visited, and we found this really cool place right by the beach, you know, this really cool apartment, and you know, we thought, oh well, you know, let's get the hell out of Williamsport, you know, and so we went down there for a little over a year and decided that Daytona really sucked.
Yeah.
It was just old people waiting to die at the
Yeah.
Yep.
time. And
Retirement, yep.
so we moved actually back to Massachusetts for about a year and a half, and then in 86 or 87 maybe I went down to Florida.
Okay. All right, so what I remember, I know I didn't know you that long, but I know him and I growing up, you were amongst the big names for the area that we idolized. And
I saw that in a podcast.
yes, so what I was going to say about it was
kidding.
no, because I have a story with that, because I remember I didn't know you were at least I didn't remember you were leaving, but I remember seeing an ad in the newspaper for, I think it was a Gibson Les Paul, a BC Rich Mockingbird, a double neck SG. Does this sound familiar?
I had all of those.
And they were for sale for a ridiculous.
Yeah, it was like, come get them so we can move.
It was like $125. It was something ridiculous.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Well, whatever it was, I saw the ad and I thought, that guy don't know who this guy. He has no idea. And then it was like 3-4 days later, we were going by your house. You were out on the porch, and we stopped to say hi to you. And you went, "Hey, did you see I sold my guitars?" And I was like, "No." He goes, "You went. The ad's in the paper." And I thought, "Holy crap! I missed that one." I was sick for 2 days thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I probably had more.
Yeah, there were more. It was just the
We were so
funniest thing.
poor at the time, he wouldn't have been able to afford it.
Right, I just blew it off. I blew it off as just someone not knowing what they had. You know what I mean? Or not, or they were just lying about it. You know what I mean? It was just, and then by the time I knew, it was too late. So, and then you
I
guys
could probably retire on the money I've thrown away on instruments, because it's like, I got them. I've paid whatever I paid for them, and it's like when I'm ready to get rid of them, like, just give me something and take it away. I'm like over it.
We did with a whole living room full of Gretches.
Yeah.
That thing, you couldn't step in there without tripping over.
Well, how's about when you decide to do that, let's give Edward a call before you decide to do that.
Well, I was thinking we were going to have our Christmas party again this year, and like I was going to give hand out tickets, and if I pulled your number at the end of the day, you could just pick something and take it.
Stay tuned for more of our conversation coming soon on SikStrings and LoudPipes. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.